Hey!
Hello.
This is Deep College Thoughts.
Welcome back to Deep College Thoughts. We have a special guest this episode. Professor Williams is our special guest on this week's episode of Deep College Thoughts. She is my professor for advocating writing, and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
All right, cool. Hi, everybody. I am Professor Williams. I graduated from University of North Carolina, Greensboro in spring of last year with my master's degree in poetry. So poetry is really what I do. I recently focused a lot on like poetry and grief, but I recently found out that I'm having a baby, which is really exciting. So I think my poetry is starting to shift into something more joyful, which is really nice because it kind of sucks to write about grief and dead things all the time. So I'm really excited to pivot. This is my first full year teaching, but I've been teaching here for 2 years, and before that I've been teaching for a while. I've been teaching writing for a long time, just not really in this sense. So it's good to be in the swing of things. I love teaching Addie's class and all of my classes, but yours is really fun. And outside of that, I am a part-time, full-ish time, I guess, content creator where I talk about social media and advocacy and kind of all the facets of advocacy and what that looks like. So like BLM, climate change, real recent events. The election is a big one lately, but you know, whatever's going on in the news. I also like to yap, so this is a good spot for me.
We be yapping. Okay, so we're gonna ask you about 8 questions. I'm gonna say the question and then you can answer them. So the first question is, are you a first generation student? If yes, how has that impacted you? If you were not, how was that like for you? Because we're both first generation students, so we don't really know what it's like to not be.
Yeah. Well, I am not a first generation student, so I can tell you all about college-ish, but like not really. Like my mom went to college. My mom went to Duke, and then she got her master's from A&T.
Okay, Duke.
Mom, and she said like such a like a casual flex too. Like she's just dropping in conversations, and I'm like, okay, Mom. But my mom went to Duke, which cracks me up. She teaches kindergarten. It's like the love of her life. But everyone's like, you went to Duke to teach kindergarten. They're like, well, do you want, to become a principal? And she's like, no. But she went to Duke, and then she got her master's at A&T, and she was a first generation college student. And then my dad did not finish college. He went for like a semester. I think he went to GTCC, but I can't remember. And then, but before him, my uncle didn't finish, but he went to college. And then my grandfather finished in like his 50s, which was pretty rad. So a lot of people in my life went to college, but none of them came with like the skills to help me go to college. Like the way my mom ended up going is that she had a lot of extra support from like outside sources. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of her applications she didn't even fill out herself. Like other people helped her fill out or did on her behalf. So I was like, how do I apply to college? How do I write this essay? How do the FAFSA fight in my home? Lord have mercy.
Lord, we all know about that.
Baby.
We all know about it, especially when they changed it this semester.
Dude, but it was a lot easier.
Bless. Was it really?
It was, but some people it's not easier.
Yeah. Like just knowing where to find, tracking down the documents in the house. She was like, I have everything organized, but you have to find it. I have to find it. Where do you keep it? Once I found it, it was trying to read it, and like at 18 it was like a foreign language. It was like, I don't know what find line 43 is and your income tax per year or whatever. I'm like, what do this mean? So it was really stressful. But then kind of once I got to college, I've always been like a huge nerd, so it was more like school on the standard and level that I've always wanted to be in school. So I was pretty stoked. Just go to class, do my work, pretty on par for who I was. The hardest part was like balancing all my extracurriculars, because I had a ton when I was in undergrad, like way too many. That's my advice, don't sign up for too much of anything. But I worked way too many jobs to pay for school, and then had a bunch of extracurriculars, and then had 2 majors and 2 minors. So I was just tired.
Sounds like
all the
Kayla.
time.
Sounds like Kayla.
Quit something. Quit before you burn out. I haven't been the same since.
So you answered the next question. What was your major in college?
Yeah, so when I went to undergrad, I went to undergrad at Elon University, which is like right up the road. I studied English with concentrations in literature and creative writing, and then I minored in women's and gender studies and business. Because my mom was like, if you're gonna major in English, you should minor in something useful. And I was like, hurtful. English is plenty useful, but I did minor in business. So If you need a balance sheet done, I guess I can do that too. I prefer not to, but I guess I could.
Okay, so did you always know what you wanted to major in, or has it changed?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely one of those people who like always knew, because I've always loved to read and write. Like I remember in kindergarten I wrote, it's not that great looking back on it because I was in kindergarten, but I wrote the story about a wedding, and my teacher was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, and she laminated it for me. And I don't know if I just really enjoyed like the art of writing or if the praise just like went to my head, but I have been a writer ever since. So I was like, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna major in English and I'm gonna go into editing. And I didn't do the last part, but I definitely did the first two. So the minors I stumbled into the minors, but the majors were absolutely on purpose.
Gotcha. Can you share some lessons that you learned in your career so far? Or at least one lesson?
Time management doesn't just go away as you get older. It actually becomes more important because people start to count on you. And so when I was in undergrad, I was on my P's and Q's because you can't not be on your P's and Q's with so much to do. But then I graduated and I was like, I can relax, I can breathe. But I didn't stop picking up other stuff. So now I'm just an adult with the three classes I teach here, the one class I teach part-time, the content creator job. I have another side job helping students apply to college because, you gotta get the bag. Rent is expensive.
Real bad.
But now, if I forget something, people are like, where is it? Where are you? Where's my homework? I don't know how to do this thing. As opposed to when I was in undergrad and I'd forget something. And it'd just be like, well, get it to me when you can. Now I'm the one saying, get it to me when you can. But if I don't get you your grades back, y'all are like, am I failing or not? I'm like, that is my bad. So if anything, say no to more stuff so you can manage your time better. Like with a baby on the way, I'm thinking about quitting something. Not this, love this. But one of those other side gigs, something's gonna have to go because your girl's tired. She ain't even here yet. So
You want to say the next one?
Yeah. So how would you tell somebody to prepare for a course that you teach? Or what would you tell them to do?
I would say shake off some of the butterflies that you probably have. Love and light, a lot of students come to class and they're really quiet and really reserved, which is cool for 3 of you, but for 20 of you, it's just a really quiet, uncomfortable class. And when taking a class with me, if you can't tell by me being here, or if your auntie won't tell you, I'm gonna talk to you, at you, around you. So if you don't reply, it's just me, just yapping. The whole
it always
class
goes back to yapping.
Yep. So I'd say probably shake off any butterflies and then be honest about where you stand, what your skill set is with me, because as a teacher, I'm here to meet you where you are and help you evolve as a student. And because I teach English classes and because I'm a writer, and if you come in and you're like, no dude, I totally already know all these things, and then you turn in your work and I'm like, hey, those things don't quite align, and now we're working backwards to catch you up, as opposed to if you just come in and you're like, hey, I don't know what half of this means, I don't like English, and I don't just want to be here. Cool, I can work with that. But if you come in front and then we gotta work backwards, now we gotta work backwards to get you all the way back up, it's just a mess. So just be honest, and if you can, be 2% more chatty than you are in your day-to-day life, and you'll be golden. Unless you're super talkative, then 2% less chatty.
So the last question would be, if you could ask one piece of advice, if you could give one piece of advice to your past self, what would it be and why?
Piece of advice to little me. I guess it'd be walk away from your friendships and your relationships when it's time, which seems completely unrelated from this whole time management thing I've been on. But outside of not knowing how to manage my time really well, I was really good at that. But besides knowing that's something that needs to be done, I would hold on to friendships and relationships with my dying breath. It's something I'm working on outgrowing now, but when I was, especially in college and even up until recent years, once I love you as a friend, as a partner, as one of my students half the time. Like once I'm attached, I'm like, I'm in it and I just want you to succeed and I want you to be happy and I want the best for you. And sometimes, especially like in your like personal relationships, people don't want that for themselves, or people don't know how to handle you or like want to be around you anymore. And when things start to get weird or when your feelings get hurt, you ain't got to tough it out. This is not a ride or die situation. You're not married to anyone. And even then, you know, when it's time, it's time. And it's sad, but it's better to be sad now before it hurts real bad, as opposed to stuck later when it hurts real bad.
Yeah.
So when it's time, and you know when it's time, go ahead and it'll be sad. Go ahead and pack it up.
Always know.
You always know. Your gut feeling is your best feeling.
Mm-hmm. Like there were some relationships and friendships that I was like, I should have packed this up week 2, month 2,
Literally.
and I'm years in, and I'm like, why is my friend still dogging me like this? I'm like, girl, she been like this the whole time. Like I had this one girl I went to college with, and I was dating this guy, and she was fine at first. We very much came from 2 different worlds. And like we always had some type of conflict, and I was just like, how can I be a better friend to her, blah blah blah. And it wasn't until she was like actively trying to hook up with the guy I was seeing, I was like, for years I was like, that was when I decided to not be her friend. Not the any other times before that when we were always fighting and fussing and she was always making me feel bad. None of that. It took that extreme for me to be like, maybe this isn't a friendship I need. I could have had peace way sooner. So cut it when it's time to cut it.
Choose peace over anything else.
Say that.
Always choose peace.
Say that.
Legitimately. Okay, so social media. How has social media impacted us? Good and bad of social media, and what is just your opinion on social media? We can all answer this, so who wants to start?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
As a person who's recently deleted a lot of her social media, I think social media can be toxic sometimes. I think that, I don't know, because on social media, a lot of times people don't post about the bad, they only post about the good. So you'll see like, oh, this person is only going up in life where I'm stuck here. And when in reality, you could post every good thing that's ever happened to you, and then people will be like, oh, well, I'm stuck here, and they're there. So a lot of people never post about the bad. But also, I feel like social media, especially TikTok, it makes you think less. Like, it makes you overstimulated. So anytime you try to concentrate on something, your brain is going a million miles a minute. So I had to take a step back and say, hey, for my mental health, for myself, my grades, my energy, my everything, I have to take a step back and delete it. And I did. And I didn't reinstall it until the podcast so I could post.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say social media is bad. I'm not going to say it's good. I mean, it has its good qualities and its bad qualities. But, that's just kind of where I stand.
Yeah. I feel like social media it's a mixture of both, but it's also us as a society that has the impact on social media.
Yeah.
So that's why when you see the good and only the good, it's because that person, that influencer, whoever it may be, only wants you to see that they're going up. And when they're posting the bad, that's just because they want you to feel bad for that person, or they want you to feel some type of way. Where I use my personal account just for school or for stuff that's actually I want to talk about. And then I have the podcast page where we talk about the podcast and all the important things and us talking and yapping like we always do. But it's also how you use it. So I would have to agree, it's not good or bad. It's the way society has made it seem to be.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, is that at its roots, social media is supposed to be about like community and connection and like sharing information and like building this world where we can all kind of like exist and making a global world smaller. I think we kind of jacked that up a little bit along the way, a lot of it along the way, partially because like it's so addictive, like it's so easy to get, and it can go anyway. Like I'd rather, it shortens our attention spans. Like when I can see it in my students, like the ones who spend a lot of time on social media, like they just can't like lock in, or like I'll leave the room for like run to the restroom or something, and I'll come back and I can see the phones and nobody's like texting their friends or like teeheeing. Like 99% of them are like on either Snapchat or they are on TikTok. Like the minute you see a phone, they're on one of two, and it just shortens like your ability to like engage with other people in real life. plus the whole like fake persona thing, people are way too like y'all, not y'all, but y'all probably way too comfy online. I don't know. Both in terms of like the things we choose to show, but also like the way we treat each other. Like I think the hardest part of being a content creator is the constant comments and the constant noise, and like it's always a mixed bag of comments, which once you get to a certain amount of followers, it's fine. But like the days where it's really bad, I'm like, there's no way you would say this to a person in person.
Literally.
Like you just wouldn't do that. And yet social media's built this world where not we get to be more connected and close and build community, but instead we're a little more closed off and mean and distracted in a way that I don't think was its intention. So it can be beautiful, you know. I love making content. I love what I do. I think I get a lot of information out there. I think I've built a pretty solid community of people who care. But when I tell you that's more labor than I think the social media lords intended when they made it, I don't know.
You want to say this one?
So how has our personal life affected our school life? You want to start this off?
Yeah, I'll start this one off. It's not how has your personal life affected your school life, it's how you make it affect your school life. First semester, I went through a lot, especially being a first generation student, going to class, having this big change, and not having anyone to really talk to in a way because I don't have anybody that's been to college like I'm going through it. So it's also how you make it affect school, where school is my first priority before friends, family, everything, because I know without my education, I'm not gonna get anywhere. So it's like, why am I gonna put my peace, my education aside to deal with you guys when that's really all I have to look forward to in my goals in life? So it's also your mindset on how you make it affect your schoolwork. Because going to class every day, like you're paying to go to class. If you don't go to class, what's the point of being on campus? You're paying for living on campus. If you don't take care of where you live, what's the point of you living on campus? And what's the point of you living on campus if you don't even go to class? Like, you're paying to be here, so put the effort to be here, you know?
I also agree. I think first semester I went through a lot, especially towards the end. So I kind of, distanced myself, went back home for a little while, but I was still going to class because I'm paying for my education. I don't think that it's affected my school life because school has always been very important to me. My major, everything, I really like to learn. So I knew that once I got here, I was going to be really locked in, similarly to you. So I try not to let anything affect like my first priority. School is my number one priority. But it does get hard when you have all of these like, I guess, outside forces that are like really acting against you. But if you can just persevere, perseverance is really just key. Like, things in life are not always going to go right, and that's okay. You know, we've been through a lot, so, but we're fine.
You're fine. I guess from both sides of the classroom, I would suppose. I like, you know, as somebody who was also really locked into school, it's easy for me to like, you know, you just lock in and get it done.
Yeah.
And that's true, but I also encourage a component of honesty from my students, and that I learned from the people who taught me, that, you know, life is gonna get you sometimes, and it's okay. Like, I definitely, this is so embarrassing. One time I was in a Zoom class, and I was in grad school, so this happened like 2 years ago. And I was in a real gnarly fight with somebody I cared about, and I forgot to cut my mic off, and they could just hear me crying in the background for like 30 seconds before somebody texted me and was like, "Hey girl, your mic's on." And that sucked. I was like, oh no, like the whole room now knows. Granted, there are like 8 people in the class, but like they all knew. I was like, oh my gosh, my teacher knew. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. But what came out of that was actually a really cool little community of people who are now more honest on the heels of my breakdown, which You're welcome. But like, it's okay sometimes when your personal life impacts your school life because they can help each other out. Like when I need a safe haven to go and get distracted from the personal life things, I have school. And, you know, teaching is a full-time job, and being a student is more of a full-time job than my teaching job. Like, I clock in, write my lessons, obviously, don't get me in trouble, write my lessons, grade y'all's work, but then, you know, I'm done for the day. Like, I go to my house, my apartment where I live away from campus, and I come to the events that I want to, and I don't what I don't, but you guys are like locked in here. Like, it's 4 to 6 to sometimes even 8 years of just in a bubble, in an environment, where this is everything, and it's inevitable that those two are going to bleed into each other. And so I would say, you know, as a person who was locked in up until maybe a year ago, it's easy to get locked in, but at the same time, if you have a bad day or even a good day, carry that energy with you and just be honest with the people around you, because as your teachers, you know, we're here for you. That's what we're here for. Half of my job is actually just half of my office hours, people just coming in and just talking about their day and talking about their feelings and what they're going through. And I'm like, do you need help with like an assignment? They're like, no,
I just need a yap.
Yeah, and I'm just, I have tissues and snacks, and I let them yap, and I answer emails, and they yap, and at the end they're like, I feel so much better. I'm gonna go do this assignment now that they don't have that stress on them. And I'm like, then office hours were successful. I'm gonna go take a nap. Like, wow, this worked for us.
So the next topic is stress management. Any tips that you have? Anything you guys want to say about it? Who would like to start off?
You want to?
Yeah, tips for managing stress. I'm so sorry. This might not be the most useful thing I've ever said, but like quit whatever that thing is that's stressing you out if you can. And if you can't, put up some boundaries on it. If the thing stressing you out is school, there's probably a trigger for it besides like the work itself. So like if you're doing, you know, 7 or 8 hours of homework a night for one course, call for help, call a professor, call a TA, call somebody.
Kayla had 53 assignments this week.
Yeah,
and I had 23.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call. I don't know who did that to you. Call. Because like, there's a lot of work. Like, how can you put up boundaries in the classroom and be like, hey, like this is these assignments, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Or if you're stuck somewhere, if it's, you know, I don't think this is what happened, but if it's 53 small assignments, 53 questions, and they're easy questions, but like the work isn't clicking, go ahead and get that tutor, man. Like, go ahead and set up that boundary. But outside of that, you know, you got that friend that's really stressing you out and you want to be friends, but you don't want to be this close to friends, put that wall up. I had a friend who once, she was getting engaged over the weekend. She was like, I love you so much. Whatever you got going on, I don't have time for it this weekend. I'll call you when I have the news. And I was like, aye, aye, Captain. And we had a great week. And like, I had other stuff going on, and we circled back to it on Monday. But she was very clear, Friday to Sunday, that's her. A married woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, word heard, understood. And it helped mitigate her stress, and it helped mitigate mine. It gave me something else to do. I was like, well, I can't just go complain to her. So I'm going to go do something else. I don't have any, like, I'm going to go do something else. So I'm not in that space all the time. So if it's a job, put up boundaries on it or quit. Mm-hmm. If it's a friendship, put up boundaries on it or quit. And if it's school, don't quit. Tough it out. But like, we got like 8 billion resources for you. So seek those before you quit.
Yeah. I would have to say, just talk to someone. There's therapy, there's counseling on school. Your professors don't mind if you go to office hours, you know. But I feel like talking does help, especially with me whenever I'm stressed. Kayla, somebody else, my mama, somebody gonna hear it from my mouth. And I called my mama the other day. Hey mom, I have this issue going on. I go to the bathroom, go to a room in the house that nobody can hear you. I need a yap. I need a yap. So I love my mama, but it's just having a space where you can be vulnerable, be yourself, and let everything out. Cry, get angry, throw something. Don't break anything, but you know, let it out. And tips for it, like you said, either get boundaries or quit. And if it's school, just try your best, because school is really the only way to make it out in this world with society. So
my biggest stress management tip is to not procrastinate.
Oh, yeah.
In high school, I was an avid procrastinator, and it worked out for me because I was in high school. I mean, like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Maybe when I got here,
Oh, it's a whole different ball
you
game.
can procrastinate on 53 assignments. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. You can't. You're not Superman. You're not a thug. You can't do it. So I think, like, see, all of my assignments are due at 11:59 on Sunday. I can't do 53 assignments that day. So what I've done is I've portioned them out throughout the week, and I'll insert a clip of my to-do list, actually. Clip here.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows?
But it's like, procrastination is so, it's like everybody does it. Like, it's really just nature. Like, oh, well, it's not due right now, so I won't do it. But do it, especially if you have the time. If you're just gonna go back to your dorm, and it's important to chill. It's okay to have like your alone time, like your chill time. You need to decompress, but don't just say, "Oh, it's due on Sunday. Today is Wednesday. I still have time," and then here you are on Sunday at 10 p.m. stressing because you have an assignment due in 2 hours, and you don't know how you're gonna get it done.
And then emailing your professor to help you when it's due that night.
And don't lie. Don't be lying to your professors talking about my grandma died or something. Don't say
No,
that.
you only got but so many relatives. I know.
Don't say that.
I'm aware.
Don't ever.
And like the way y'all come in, like the thing about the grandparent excuse, the way y'all come in when a grandparent is actually gone versus when something is just late, I know. Because the students who were like, my grandpa died, distraught. When y'all like, oh no, my grandpa died. Okay.
Where's that assignment?
I don't believe you, so whatever.
No, but it's also just like having a to-do list or a planner. Like for me, if I don't write it down in my planner or my to-do list, it ain't never getting done.
Say that.
If it's not written down, baby, I'm not doing it. I write all of my assignments down. Kayla can tell you, we might have to insert a clip of my planner.
Insert the clip.
Yeah.
Only time, and who can say?
Even for the podcast, if it's not in the podcast planner, it ain't getting done.
Literally on my planner, edit the podcast. Like I wasn't gonna do that anyway.
So you just have to figure out what works for you to manage your stress. But I would say yapping. When you start yapping, you let everything out.
Yapping.
You can't thug it out forever.
No. Because then you'll explode.
You're literally becoming the Angry Bird, the bomb one.
Literally.
Yeah.
Real bad.
So now that we talked about stress, let's talk about outlets. How to relieve stress, get away from it, besides going to class. Anybody wants to start it off?
I like to sleep.
Okay, Kayla.
I'm not gonna lie.
You
If I'm
can't sleep the
stressed-
pain away though.
Okay, I won't be sleeping the
You
pain
can't
away.
sleep the stress or the pain away.
But like,
A little power nap.
yeah,
Oh.
like I feel like if I have a lot to do, I'm like, okay, because one thing I will say as somebody who's worked a full-time job also while in high school, you get more tired when you're using your brain than you do when you're actually being physical. It takes a lot of energy for you to say, okay, I have to sit down and read these 37 pages for my assignment, do the assignment, then do the quiz. That is a lot more than like, okay, let me go make these 53 subs. Okay, it's 53 subs, but you know what you're doing. It's like, just slide it down the line. So it just takes a lot more because while you're reading, you have to comprehend. You're doing your assignment, you're comprehending what you're writing, making sure that it makes sense. You're taking the test, you're stressed because you're taking the test. What if I fail? Like,
Test anxiety is real.
real bad.
I got it. I know it's real.
So I just like to come home, take a little nap, recharge, and then get back at the grind.
Yeah, I would say this podcast is really not stressful at all.
No.
I thought it was gonna be like, oh, we gotta edit, we gotta do this. The only stressful part about it is uploading it to YouTube where you guys watch.
Y'all don't
But
know
we
the
get it
problem
done.
I go
We
through.
get it done.
To
We get
upload.
it done. But yeah, like podcast, jobs, friends, just relaxing, taking a day for yourself, clubs on campus, outside of campus. I would say any time that you're not stressed or angry or upset, is an outlet because you're happy, you're at peace.
Right.
So anything that makes you at peace, keep doing that. And if it doesn't give you peace, put a wall up or quit. Drop it. Because if you don't have peace in this world, what are you doing?
Literally.
What are you doing?
You can't be on demon time all the time.
Period.
That's the one. Is that everything?
Do you have an
Do
outlet?
you have an outlet?
The note you left off on is honestly so perfect. I'm glad you have it. that was a good note.
Okay, so how to advocate for yourself and others. You can start this one off.
That I can take. So the most important thing when it comes to advocacy is you have to care. And that sounds really, really silly and like one of those like duh kind of moments. But like you have to decide on a scale of 1 to 10 how important that thing is to override all the reasons you wouldn't do it. So like, especially when it comes to self-advocacy, it's do I want to talk to my teacher, my boss, my whomever to set up that boundary? Do I even want to go about the emotional labor of figuring out what that conversation is supposed to look like? Is this something I can like just thug out, or is it something that I have to confront? You have to care about whatever that thing is enough to override all of those boundaries to it. And so for yourself, I hope you care. Self-love is the best love. But when it comes to others and taking yourself out of that place, is that you have to have or find, if you don't just have it, some like innate core human to human thing, like I care about you and your well-being, to override all those other boundaries or hiccups. Because otherwise, you're not going to do it. Like there's this, as many of you might know, what's going on in Palestine, for example, and all of the strikes and the boycotts and all of the like petitions and things that we see around the clock. And yet some people can't find it to care enough to like not go to Starbucks for a little bit or like miss out on McDonald's. Like, dude, I get it. I'm pregnant. I miss McDonald's so bad. I just drive past it, tears in my eyes, craving a French fry. I guess I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A after this because I just want a French fry.
I can't remember the last time I had McDonald's.
Bro,
Probably
That night.
that night.
Yeah.
Probably that night.
possibly before the war, quite literally. So like but you have to find it in yourself enough to care. And then once you've got it past that, you have to be receptive to the feedback that comes with advocacy. Because like we can teach you. I can teach you like the actual like this is how you advocate kind of step by step. But once you care, you have to also care enough to separate yourself and accept whatever comes out of that. Ideally, hey, these work hours are too much. Okay, my bad. Here are fewer hours. But realistically, you're going to have to fight for it, and you're going to have to take on the fact that it might be a fight, whether it's a uncomfortable conversation with a friend or the end of your job. You just have to care, and you have to care enough to fight for it. That blows. But it's worth it, 9 times out of 10.
I would say, I think you kind of summed it up the best way, but just taking a course or two, because I did take Speaking Out for Change, but learning how to let my voice be heard on Speaking Out to Change was a big one. But now learning how to write in a formal or informal way about these things that I'm passionate about is even more impactful than me learning on the internet. So if you guys can take a class on campus of advocacy in any type of way, I would say do it, even if it's an elective course. Like, you're gonna learn so much, and it's like, it's not even on an educational level. Well, it is because you're educating yourself, but not towards your major. It's more just for your self-knowledge. Because I feel like I did take it because I am a major in social work, so advocating is what I'm going to be doing, but also I'm taking it just because I want to learn. I want to do better as a person on all of the topics that I care about,
Y'all pretty much said it best, but I guess as somebody who's always advocated for somebody, like other people, it gets hard for you to realize, like, hey, am I advocating for this person over my own feelings? And that's when I really have to take a step back and say, okay, I need some peace in my life, and I love you, but I've got to go. Because
I feel like
there have
Kayla, I've
been-
taught you so much about that quote. I've taught you so much. I'm gonna touch your hand when I say this. I have it, so I'm gonna get that quote tattooed. I love you, but I gotta
Got to
go
go.
to better myself, to do what
Literally.
I gotta do, to get my peace. I still care about you. You know, what did Tupac say?
Tupac said, just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gained me as an enemy. I still want to see you eat,
Just not at my table. Please. Like, I
Yeah.
really don't
You
know.
really, sometimes you put yourself on the back burner. And I guess in some situations that's okay, because my mom would always put herself on the back burner when it came to me, so I get that. But at some point in your life, you've got to realize, oh my gosh, it's been 4 years and nothing has changed.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to go. And if it's really meant to be, it'll come back around.
Yeah.
But if it's not, it's not.
And I feel like you can't also advocate for others and burn yourself out. Because if you're not advocating for yourself, then what's the point of advocating for others? That's like self-love. If you don't love yourself,
Who's going to love you?
who's going to love you? Nobody's going to love you better than your self-love, the way you love yourself.
Because if you don't love yourself, how do you know how to be loved? Like,
Or
how do you
even
know,
how
like,
to
this
love
is
for
love?
others.
Literally.
Mhm.
So it's like, you know?
Ooh, great question.
Ooh, Kayla, you start us off.
Okay, so if you could choose a different major, what would it be and why? Oh my goodness.
How many times did you change your major?
Don't come for me. Okay, guys. So on the very first episode, I said that I was a psychology and sociology major, and it has not always been that, because my heart bleeds for classical history. Bleeds for it. I am a Roman at heart. AKA Pictura, shout out if you know that. But I really, like, over Christmas break, like when I went home, I sat down and I was like, as much as I would love to get a classics degree and go into law, which is plausible, I believe, for myself, what can I do right now to get myself through? Because if I can get in a good position, then I can always go back to school to do law. I can always go back to school to get a classics degree, a degree in philosophy or something like that. But I'm like, I have to set myself up now, something that I still like, something that I'm still passionate about, and then I'll have time for my other stuff later. I have to do good now, and then I can play later. And that's how I feel. I really like psychology and sociology, and I feel like I'm setting myself up to do good in life, because I'm going to New York. I'm doing internships and trying to get into this program at Washington State. So I feel like I'm doing good. Sometimes I'm sad because I'm like, wow, my heart really beats for a different thing, and that's okay.
Kelly, it's always
Because
going to be with you. It's in
I'll
your
always-
blood.
It's in my blood,
Yeah.
literally. The Aeneid 3 times.
Oh.
I've read it thrice.
Oh, that's commitment. I think I might have read it once. Maybe.
Yeah. Barely.
I
Mayhap.
never read it. So.
And you know what? You gonna be all right.
You will be. You will be.
3 times is crazy.
Yeah. Arma verumque troiaque. I know it in Latin.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's. You know what? Are you sure you don't want to pick up a minor or something? Something to get the outlet out.
I was thinking about it. I mean, I have the credits because I took the classes last semester, so I'm like 1 credit away from a philosophy minor.
Oh, get the minor.
I'll do
I was,
Yeah.
this is your thing for
What's
me.
the website called? You know the website.
Degree works.
Degree works.
Yep.
Yep.
From the girl who just said, quit whatever doesn't serve you, go sign up for something else. Goodbye. Knock out that minor.
No, but it's also just 1 more class.
Yeah.
So it's like, just take the 1 class.
I think I will.
That's how I got my women's and gender studies minor. I was 1 class away, and I was like, well,
Might as well.
might as well.
Well.
At that point.
As a person who has changed what she wanted to be when she grew up so many different times,
Real talk.
I have finally chosen a major that I am passionate about, a major that hopefully I will never change because of how passionate I am about social work and how big the field is, that I can do different things like child protective services, working in a juvenile detention center, working at the school system, like working with elderly people. There's so much that you could do with social work that I literally, my senior year, I was like, you know what, I'm passionate about this. It has so many different things that I can do where I'm not going to be, oh, I get this major, it's only one thing that I can do. I get this major, I go to Child Protective Services, it's not for me. I go to the school system, it's not for me. I go to the Juvenile Detention Hall Center. So it's like I have so many options that I can do with it, which is something I was really looking forward to. But when I was younger, I went from a teacher to a dance teacher to a police officer to an undercover cop to an undercover cop with narcotics to a therapist to a psychologist.
You sound like me, Jody.
And now, finally, social work really is where it's at since my junior year of high school. And I would never change it. I really don't think I would ever change it. It's so much. It's finally like, when I was in high school, I was like, there's not a class that's like, I can't do English for the rest of my life. I can't do history. I can't do science. I can't do math. All these electives, maybe dance. But it was like, do I really want to do dance for the rest of my life? And finally, when I did my research on social work, baby, I said, this is for me. I get to advocate. I get to talk my stuff on what's wrong and what's right. But I do that on a daily basis for free. Now I'm going to get paid for it. Now I'm going to get paid for it. That's my real reason.
Paid to be a professional yapper.
Sorry. No, but have you ever... You haven't, right?
No, I've never considered changing my major. I mean, at one point I thought about also majoring in biology, but I was just really into, I'm really into science.
Must be nice.
So,
Yeah.
that's the issue, is that I think that everybody's smart and gifted in their own ways. And like, as someone who has to always defend English, because like, why would you major in a language that you already speak?
Or whatever, English is hard.
English is hard.
That's my thing. It's like,
English
it's
is
like
hard.
It's because y'all aren't speaking proper English. First of all, let's talk about that.
Will. we can unpack that, like English and its biases and dialects and all the things. I can always talk about English. I can always talk about English, but
Fresher than a yapper.
literally, in its purest, rawest form, yapping about the art of yapping. So in that regard, but like I was really into biology, so I thought about that for a little bit as a second one, and then I almost minored in astronomy. And I would have, but I can't do math. I'm real bad at math.
Me too.
So, like,
You got English? I'm good at math, but I'm bad at English.
well, between the two of us, we could have got that astronomy minor. Because I took all the, like, these science, like, the star parts, but then I had to do astrophysics. Baby, but I look like taking astrophysics.
I can't even do a regular physics. What's
Right.
an astrophysics?
I couldn't do calculus. I had to take it twice. So what I look like in astrophysics.
I literally loved physical science in high school.
Yeah, between the two of us, we could have picked up
We
my
coulda-
extra major.
Yeah,
but
we could have.
not I, not on my
If
own.
you ever want to go back, you let me know.
Dude, actually, I will. You can guide me through it. I will teach you writing and advocacy, and you can teach me what an astrophysic is. And yes,
I made a 110 in chemistry
Period.
in high school, and it was like on the college side because I did dual enrollment. And I was like, never again.
Oh.
I'm never doing that again.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
I barely lived.
Did your part.
I barely lived.
So if I was going to major in something, it'd possibly be one of the sciences. But realistically, I think I'd circle back and major in one of the humanities. Like, I think I might double down on sociology or really commit to like the women's and gender studies or African American studies, because that's where like my work is. Like, my love is poetry and writing, and so I picked what I love. But if where my work is and my heart is in terms of like work, it's there. So I might pivot, but I also might just goof around and pick up an astronomy or something. Who knows? The world is my oyster. I love school.
Okay, you guys want to do fun questions? 3 fun questions?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite food to eat? Anywhere, fast food or a meal, anything.
I mean, I'm pregnant, so sweet foods as a concept bring me to tears on a practically daily basis. Like, one time my mom's coworker walked in and said, I have extra donuts, who wants them? And I burst into tears. So probably something sweet. Right now I am really into pastas though, because they go down easy and my little girl seems to agree with them. So I'd probably go with like spaghetti or rotini, marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, and I could eat that every day. and then some type of dessert, probably a cupcake, milkshake, maybe both. Maybe sprinkle a baby bottle pop on top. I don't know. It depends on the day.
Baby bottle pop.
I haven't had them in
Dude,
bread.
they're so good.
I could just eat the
Yes.
powder. That's why I like
I eat
Fun
the
Dip
powder.
so much.
I just eat the powder.
Fun Dip?
Yeah.
Around this time and it's Valentine's Day? Oh, I know
Fun
they
Dip?
got it in bulk.
Yeah.
Go to Walgreens. If you're looking for a baby bottle pop, go to Food Line. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I'm big, so for real. I went to 3 or 4. They also might have them at Walgreens. Went to like 3 or 4 stores one night looking for a baby bottle pop. That's all she wanted. Awesome having a girl. That's the extra she in the room. But like all she wanted was a baby bottle pop. I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna do this. And I drove all around Greensboro, Food Line.
They sell them at the gas station though, don't they?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they sell them.
Well, for next time, you know.
Yeah.
Know where I'm going after? Go to Chick-fil-A. I'm picking up quite the agenda.
What's yours?
What's my favorite food?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now, the only thing I can think about is those teriyaki beef bites they used to have in the cafeteria. I'm telling you, if I could find the original teriyaki beef bites, I would sell my left leg
Lord.
to have it.
Lordy Lord.
They were
Kayla,
so-
all first semester. Hold up, let's bring this back. All first semester, we would play these random question games in the dorm room. Kayla goes, yeah, you remember in like high school, middle school, them bites that they had in the caf. I'm like, what bites? Baby, what
That's
bites
ominous.
you eating? She goes, yeah, like if I could eat that for the rest of my life, I
Literally,
would.
those are so good.
Kayla.
And I don't know if it's just like where I live, because I grew up in a small town. Like my town only has 800 people. My county is only 25,000. So I don't know. I guess those teriyaki beef bites
They
at
was.
me if you know where I can get them. Please, my socials are up here. At me.
The bites were biting, I
They
guess.
were. They were so good.
My favorite food would have to be a plate from my motherland, my mother island. I would say rice with beans, some pork, some probably plantains, but the sweet ones, and a nice pina version. Pina colada. Yeah. Or some coquito. I was really craving some, but it's not Christmas anymore. My mom said no. It's a
Oh.
coconut and cinnamon drink. It's really good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but I want some pina colada now. I'm going home this weekend.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
Shout out your mama.
No. What's your favorite struggle meal? Kayla, you gonna start this one off because it's the same answer. Or maybe it's not.
It's not though.
Oh.
It's the mac and cheese cups, and those are still kind of expensive. Cause why am I buying 4 of them for like $4.99? Now y'all are scamming me, anyways. But the little Kraft mac and cheese cups, and I'll only eat Kraft because I'm so sorry. Like Walmart version is good with a lot of stuff, baby. But the mac and cheese, I am not eating that. I think it's because I'm so particular about cheese, even if it is coming out of a bag.
I don't like cheese
Oh.
unless it's melted, like mozzarella sticks. I can do. No, cheese, just cheese.
Sorry. You said mozzarella sticks and they sound so good.
No.
Give me a second. Is that
My favorite struggle meal. Dang, I'm really trying to think. I think Puerto Rican bread. They sell it at Walmart in where I live.
Is that what you have in the dome?
Yeah, bang sobao. If you're Puerto Rican, you know. Bang sobao is freshly made at some Walmarts every morning. That and some butter, and you toast it. Because sometimes we don't have ham. So that would be my struggle meal.
Oh.
That's what I had yesterday in the morning. It was so good. It was good.
Don't you cry.
No, I still have some left over. So, and I'm gonna pick another one up this weekend. But if I didn't have any, I would cry right now.
That's fair.
What's yours?
Probably cup noodles with some cayenne pepper. That's it. The
I've
chicken
never
cup
had
noodles.
that. I've had cup noodles, but I've never had it with
couple
cayenne
noodles,
pepper.
but never had that. Hot sauce, yeah.
It's a new.
Hot sauce.
You never put hot sauce on your noodles?
Mm-mm.
What?
Mm-mm.
Some tapatio?
I don't like tapatio. I'm a
Buffalo?
Texas Pete type of girl.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you would be with the yeehaws.
Okay.
That was an accusation.
Whenever I think about Texas, I just think about like cowboys.
If you saw where I live,
That's fair.
Yeah.
The Yeehaws.
real bad.
What's one thing you don't like about college?
The 53 assignments. Can we talk about it?
We can talk about it.
I mean, we're professional actors here, but why do I have 53 assignments? It's not like I'm behind or anything. It's just genuinely I have 53 assignments to do. So I'm not gonna call you out because you know who you are. I love you, and I love your class, and you know I love your class. Why are you doing this to me? Thank you.
I would have to say having certain classes only in the fall semester and certain classes only in the spring. Because now I'm taking bio online when I hated online class, but I'm taking the lab in person. So make that make sense. Because bio in person for the class is only in the fall. But I didn't know that until I had to register for the spring semester. So maybe, put it in bold, real big, instead of just the parentheses, make it bold next time. Because it's like, why?
Cause I get it if it was like part 1, part 2, but like, it's bio. They do it every. I wonder why it's only on. That's weird though.
Yeah, but that's my only thing I don't like. I think everything else is pretty.
We're chilling.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the cost, which like
Oh,
I
I
know
forgot
everyone-
all about that.
Yeah, me
well,
too.
I worked so much. Like I think in undergrad I had 5 jobs.
Mm.
So like I would like wake up, I worked in Res Life. I was a tour guide. I was the like community director person for our honors program or one of our honors programs. I was an intern for the president's office and I had something else going on. And so I was a volunteer. Like I had like one of my extracurriculars was a volunteer full-time or part-time at a children's center, and I had my 2 majors and my 2 minors. So like by the time the day was done, it's 4 a.m. and I'm trying to go to bed, and one of my student residents is drunk as a skunk getting in a fight in the hallway. Now it's 5 a.m. and I'm awake.
Not drunk as a skunk.
So if school didn't cost money to that degree, I could have quit something, maybe had a life, gotten a nap in. I don't know.
So it's game time.
Ooh.
We're gonna play Finish the Lyric. I think
sorry.
you just want me to come up with songs.
Yeah, cause Charles, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know no songs, and she's gonna try and put me at the disadvantage and play Bad Bunny,
No, I'm not.
and she knows I don't even know.
I'll also be at a disadvantage.
We're gonna do.
I don't think I know any of these.
Okay.
Now I'm scared. What if she starts playing Disney?
Actually,
I can do that.
Why?
That's in my skill set.
we're gonna switch up the game.
Okay.
I'm gonna play the song
Mhm.
for like 2 seconds.
Mhm.
You have to guess the name or the artist.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that maybe.
Okay. This one should be easy.
Mhm.
Isn't that all the
Baby,
Commandments?
is that Kanye?
Wait,
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Rihanna in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Boom,
all
bam.
the words.
I told
Okay.
you it was easy. That was the easy one. The title was played in the first
Yeah.
second. Okay. Now we're gonna go a little harder.
That one was so on the nose, I was afraid to be wrong.
No.
I love Kanye. Don't at me.
I
'cause
wasn't gonna say nothing.
it's already been controversial.
I was like, we've said enough.
Okay. I'm sorry,
No,
Kayla.
it's okay. Take your time.
Okay, ready?
Oh, yeah, by Usher.
Oh, okay.
I don't know no Usher.
You
You
don't
don't
know
know
Usher?
You could have tuned in on Sunday, you got school.
She gonna be editing the podcast. It comes out on
I
Monday.
have to work Sunday.
Oh.
I'm gonna be making all them platters. I work
Oh.
at Subway. if that
While
doesn't
you're
make sense.
well, while you're at work, go ahead and cut on some Usher. You can learn a thing or two.
Okay,
That's so funny.
That was a good one.
Kayla, this one's gonna be just for you.
Look, I'm gonna get it wrong still.
No, you're not.
Just for me, I'm gonna get it wrong.
You're not. Okay, I hope it doesn't cuss.
Who is what?
You should know this song. Kayla, you should know this song.
Okay, well I don't.
You want me to play like a different?
Yeah,
Okay.
A different section.
A different section.
sure.
You're gonna have to bleep it out because it cussed, but
Okay.
it's okay.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
Okay, so now you know. Now you know. I was about to say this is our theme song, Kayla.
Literally.
I was about to say. Okay, now I'm gonna do this just to hurt your feelings.
It's a bad bunny.
It's gotta be bad, but
No, no, it's not. Cause I know you're not gonna. Well, I don't know if you know this song, but we're gonna find out.
to be honest, probably
That
not.
should be. Wait a minute.
What should be?
Now I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
I don't know.
Okay. Wait.
I'm scared too.
Literally.
Oh,
Who is
SZA.
that?
That's SZA.
Uh-huh.
Is it Snooze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't listen to SZA.
I know, that's why I
You
said
mean
you go
Grammy
hate
Award
it.
winning SZA? What you listening to today, babe?
I listen to like indie pop, like Mac DeMarco, Mitski. You know.
Okay.
Kayla, I'm gonna play this.
I like Mitski.
Is it Peso Pluma?
No. It's your favorite song.
Oh, T Grizzly First Day Out. I already know. I already know. They prayed on my downfall for real. That was so funny.
Okay. We're gonna leave it off with one more song. But Kayla, wait. I feel like everybody should know this song, so you might have to bleep this one out too.
Watch me not know it.
I can't think of it. It's not. Is it? It's not Kendrick. Is it? It's not Kendrick. Who is it? Cause like you don't want no problem.
Yeah.
Is it J. Cole?
I don't know
No.
words.
I don't know who it is.
It's Chance the Rapper with Lil Wayne.
Oh.
No problem.
No problem. I should just guess no
Chance
problem.
the
I was already singing
Rapper.
it.
And 2
Yeah.
Chains.
I should've-
Don't bring that up, Kayla. Don't bring that up.
You look like you don't know the secret of a lifetime.
Okay, we're done for today.
Yep.
Next thing. The quote of the day. You want to read it?
Sure. The quote of the day is, "It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it." And baby, if that is not a testament to some of the stuff I have been through, I don't know what is.
That's the big one right there. I would say that it's back to where we're talking about stress management. How you take it and deal with it, you know. If anything, you can't blame others for what happens for yourself because you're just putting it on yourself.
Right.
So, anything you want to say about the quote?
It reminds me when I go to the grocery store and I try to go grocery shopping without a cart to think I would like not spend money, and instead I'm just like dropping groceries all over the store. I did that to myself. The load is the same, but I put it in a little handbag. I'm better off. So if you gotta set your stuff down and reposition, resituate, and go again, do that. Because sometimes it's not even that bad. It's just you're doing it weird.
Anything else you want to say, Kayla?
I don't know. I just feel like we've been talking about throughout the whole episode, it's okay to let things go. I know that once you get to a certain point, you're like, wow, if it was a relationship or anything like that, like, wow, I was really here for this person and they weren't here for me. At some point, you've got to choose, like I said last episode, to make your life better.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. They'll be okay. And they might not at first, but eventually they'll be okay. They'll have to find a new target. They'll have to find somebody else. But you can't sacrifice yourself for what you think others need.
That's a word.
Goes back to, I love you, but I gotta go. My uncle said that to me at a young age, and it's just always stuck. Best believe I say it to him sometimes whenever he calls. I love you, but I gotta go. Love you. He'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna charge you for saying that.
Not on a charge.
Not a charge.
Copyright strike.
Big one. So that's everything for the podcast. Anything you guys want to yap about for the next 5 minutes? If not, we can end it early.
Wait. What's the song of the day? What's your song of the day? What have you been listening to?
Ooh, I've been listening. Can I have two?
Who?
Can I have two?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
I thought you were saying-
Yeah, like I'm
I
like,
said.
No, can I have
You
two?
look on my Spotify.
I've been listening to On My Mama by, she just won, Victoria Monet. That's my first one. And I've been listening to Hiss by Megan Thee Stallion.
I don't
Because
even know.
there are two sides to the argument. One is correct and one is Nicki Minaj. Stream Hiss.
Did she just come for Nikki on the podcast?
Do y'all not know?
No, because I deleted TikTok.
yeah, we don't be on social media unless it concerns
Well,
the
you have to
podcast.
tell us after the
my
podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to get them informed. For
Yeah.
y'all out there who know, you know. If you don't, you going to find out.
Mine is Miss the Rage by Trippie Redd. Okay, I guess I miss the rage sometimes. I think I was just on Demon Time.
You know what? We're just gonna pick a shuffle song. Wait, actually, I'm gonna do one.
Or should be Bad Bunny.
I think
Yeah,
it should be Bad
it's
Bunny after all
in
this discourse.
preview by Bad Bunny, and then for my English people out here's "Running Out of Time" by Tyler the Creator. Cause baby, we running out of time right now in this. I don't got no more peace. I need to find my peace again. That was a good podcast, guys.
Yeah, don't forget to put your mama on.
Put your mama on.
Put your mama on.
Shout out to all the mamas that have been watching.
I love you for real.
No, straight up love. Don't miss out on all the fun, laughter, wisdom. Subscribe to Deep College Thoughts on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Deep College Thoughts. TikTok at Deep College Thoughts. And
Until next time.
until
Bye,
next time,
guys.
bye.